Hey, everybody, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch. And I'm going to tell you the truth about the national championship game and why Kansas won the national championship game. It was a great game. I, I first saw the matchup. I watched the opening part of the game, and Kansas went up 7-0. I said, this is a bad matchup. They're too fast for North Carolina. I don't know if there's going to be a letdown. I don't like this at all. Carolina just came out smoking after that. They really very, very impressed their first half. They ended up, after a layup by Puff Johns, they were up 40-25. They came out just on fire. Bannock was hitting shots. They defended well. There's a problem with Carolina. They call them the Iron Five because they don't have any bench. And it almost cost them against Baylor. It didn't cost them against Duke. And they were able to beat up St. Peter, so that never mattered. But I said, man, if Kansas comes back, UNC's not going to be able to handle that because Kansas is deeper. And they have Remy Martin coming off the bench. Kansas came out flying. I mean, they ended up tying the score at 50-50. So they went on a 25-10 run, and they were just tough. Remy Martin hits a three to give them the lead. They had a 6-point lead, and I said, okay, because there's many a times I counted Carolina. I said, okay, now, because I watched the Baylor game, I said, okay, Baylor came back for 25, Baylor got him overtime. Carolina survived. Duke had him in trouble with the lead late. I said, Duke's going to win. This is Coach K's moment, and they survived. It's 56-50 with 10 minutes left. I said, Kansas going to pull away. Carolina's running out of gas. This is it. Time is up, and they'll win going away there. They are the better team, and Carolina's running out of steam. Carolina comes right back, and they ended up tying the score after Puff Johnson hits a three-pointer. It's 56-56. Remy Martin hits a big three-pointer, and they're going back and forth. Then with 4:13 left, 65-61, layup by Remy Martin. All right, now Carolina's done. Okay, it's over. The dream is over. They come back and tie the score. Not only do they tie the score at 65, they ended up taking a lead. Caleb Love gets a layup with 2 minutes left. I'm thinking, no, Carolina's not going to win this game. I would be wrong because I picked Kansas. I picked Duke over Carolina. I picked Marquette over Carolina. I picked Baylor over Carolina. I said, okay, I think maybe I'm wrong about Carolina. And they fought back. But then, after a layup by Manick, they were up with 141 left. But the biggest shot of the game and of David McCormick's career is this 8-foot hook shot that he nailed. And that gave Kansas a lead. And that's when, and then McCormick hits another 8-foot jumper, and he's the hero of the game. And they end up 3. And that's now the game is over. They're up 3 with 4 seconds left. Okay, they got the ball. They inbound the ball. Even if they miss 2 free throws, they're going to win the game, but it's a turnover. And Caleb Love, who had missed a layup to give Carolina a chance for the lead with 1:41 left, misses the 3-point shot that he normally would make. And then finally Kansas wins, and they're the national champion. I feel bad for Caleb Love. He didn't necessarily have the greatest game. He only had 13 points. He's 5 of 24, 1 of 8 from 3. Manick had 13. Davis was solid. Baycock has been great, 15 and 15 rebounds. He was just been great. But he wasn't greater than the other big man who had 15 and 10 and had the big shots that helped win the ball game. And Wilson was big. Wilson giving them 15 was big because Abaji wasn't great. The stars weren't great on either team, but Braun gave you 12, and Braun gave you points that helped lead to comeback. And Remy Martin had 14 off the bench, and that's the key. Carolina doesn't have a Remy Martin to come off the bench, and that's why I thought Kansas was slightly better, and they ended up winning by 3 because they were slightly better. Carolina battled, and they fought hard, but this was Kansas' time, and I give credit to Bill Self. I've been on him, but this national championship, he gives the second one. Because the first one, I was like, man, if Carolina Party doesn't goof up the last couple of minutes, they would have lost. But he gets the second one after all the underachieving he did. He did win with the team he was supposed to win with, and he won. Even if you have the most talented team, if you deliver the goods, I respect that because your team played up to their potential. And Carolina played exceedingly past their potential. Carolina was just also great. Hubert Davis is going to win a national championship once the second group. This next group that's coming together with Welcher coming there and a new group that'll develop because Carolina players stay 3 or 4 years. So that group, I believe Hubert will get a national championship. But for now, I want to celebrate Kansas. It's unfortunate if Kansas goes on a 1-year probation after all the violations that the NCAA is looking into. That would be terrible for the kids to put in all their heart and blood, sweat, and tears. And now you turn around and it's slightly tainted because of the probation, probably the past in sins of the previous people involved. And now these kids now would have to suffer, which would be terrible. But McCormick, I don't know what kind of pro he's going to be, but he ended up having a great final college year of his career, making all the big shots, played great against Villanova, made the 2 biggest shots in Kansas history. And Bill Self has had a good history of beating Carolina. He never lost to Carolina in the tournament. And that was what I was banking on too. As little respect as I had for him in big games, he had beaten Carolina. He didn't beat Duke, but I think they'd have beat Duke. Even if Duke were to win, I think they'd have beat Duke. It was their time to win. They did what they had to do. I guess the Duke fans like, ha, 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 Carolina lost. No, you can't. You can't laugh. You could take solace that it's not a complete disaster that Carolina lost, but Carolina beat Coach K in Cameron and on the biggest stage in the Final Four. That you're not removing that stench for a long time. And now Shire better, with all the number 1 recruiting class in the nation, they're going to have to try to make it happen next year because those kids will go pro. I know Whitehead's gone after 1 year because I wish he was on the Lakers right now. I told him that. I told his parents that when I interviewed Whitehead. I'm going to post that. I told him that. I want you on the Lakers. I told his parents that. That's how good a kid he is. But Duke, unless they win next year, they're never going to live that down. But kudos to Kansas. Let's stay with Kansas. They won the close game that Carolina has been winning. Once it got close, I said, Carolina's been pulling these games out. But Kansas, usually winning all the blowouts, were able to figure it out in their half court and get the shots they needed. And they could have went to Abaji, which I wouldn't have had a problem with, but you know what? McCormick has got us here in the Final Four. These last 2 games, he's delivered the goods. Let's go to him. And he delivered, and Kansas is a national championship. Now, I had a chance to interview Villanova's assistant coach, Mike Nardi. I've known him for years because he used to play at the Matt Patrick School, saw him in high school, loved the kid. I want to celebrate the great season that Villanova had too. So this is my interview with him. Okay, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio, and I got one of the best assistant coaches in America, Mike Nardi at Villanova. First of all, congratulations on a great season. I felt you had an awesome season, man.
Thanks, Ron. Yeah, we were extremely proud of this group and just everything that they went through from start to finish. We battled with injuries and just different things throughout the season that most teams go through. But this crew really they got better every single game. And, even games that we won, we still learned from. Obviously games we lost, we got better. and they just had a great attitude and stuck together the whole year.
Justin Moore, that was the one that hurt it. I hated to see that because I hate when a team is compromised going into the Final Four like that.
Yeah, that was a huge, just hit for us because he was so vital to our success and his ability on both ends of the floor. Offensively, probably our best offensive player, and just all around on three levels could score the basketball and make plays for other people. And then defensively, we would have him guard the best player on the other team every night, and he could switch. He could guard 1 through 5.
Oh, yeah.
So I think apart from him on the offensive end, just defensively really changed. And our style of play moving forward without him, we couldn't go as small as we would have liked at times just because we didn't have him.
Oh, yeah. Now, I want to talk about the season. It was more the sum was better than the parts. You played as completely as one unit. You didn't have the guy that could just get it to the, they were not super duper star for a score. Everybody did their part, and systematically you beat teams from offense to defense. It was a pure team effort to me for what I saw.
Yeah, and I think our guys as a whole, they're complete players, and they can all score, they can all pass, they can make plays, and then defensively, we like to switch a lot, so all of our guys could guard different,
Oh, yes.
different positions, and I think collectively as a group, what we try and get our guys to do is just play together, and I think that's the best thing that we did this year as a team. And we had different guys step up, on different nights. Obviously most consistently was Colin Gillespie and Justin Moore and Jermaine Samuels,
Yes.
and then towards the end of the year, Caleb Daniels really got going, and Brandon Slater and Eric Dixon, again, like we're naming the whole team, guys that came off the bench as well. And losing Jordan Longino was another hit that we took.
Oh, yeah.
With a young guy that really started to come on, midway through the year. So yeah, just as an entire group, I felt like everybody had their hand in it, and that was our strength.
Where do you get these point guards from? You had Archie Akino, and then now you have Gillespie. You always have these high level IQ point guards that know how to run the offense, know how to run even when the shot clock going down, super smart, gets everyone, plays good defense. You have all these high IQ point guards every year.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's we're just very fortunate to get the guys that we get, that want to get better. And I think most importantly, our older guys just passing down the tradition, and guys just bringing the younger guys along, like Ryan Arcidiacono, he took Jalen Brunson under his wing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Colin came in as a freshman, Jalen Brunson did that for him. So just being passed down from, guy to guy, I think has made our program special. And, obviously those guys are great players. So, we're really fortunate just to have had them be a part of this program.
Right at this moment, I have Jay Wright as an all-time great coach, because the thing I like about him is you could have a fast-breaking team. You could have a different type of team like with Bridges, and then like when you had Arcidiacono, when you won the first one. And now you had this one where the sum is better, even better than the parts. It's a systematic type of team. It didn't matter what style. He looks at the team and has that adaptability as a coach. That's why I have him as one of the greatest coaches in college history right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think with our success, it'd be hard to disagree with you. And I can't speak for Coach, but I think one thing about him is that he just takes pride in our guys. He takes pride in Villanova basketball, and the wins and losses, and the championships aren't really as important as developing our guys as people, academically, and then obviously each guy wants to get to the highest level and play in the NBA, and that's one of his main priorities. And within doing that, we've had a lot of success, and I agree with you. I think he is one of the best coaches, but there's a ton of them that have done amazing things in this game, and I think he is very humble and he respects those guys.
You did a terrific job too as assistant coach. Is there any aspirations to be a head coach?
Yeah, that's definitely in the in the cards. And whenever that time comes, I'll be ready for the opportunity. Um, I love who I'm working for and who I'm working with. I really enjoy our staff, and I bleed blue and white. I've really loved Villanova, and I love being there. So whenever that day comes, I'll hopefully make the right decision. But I'm extremely happy where I'm at right now, and just trying to get better and learn from coach as much as I can.
I think you'll be a great coach because you got that Jay Wright wisdom that you're going to take with you to wherever you go. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, as a former player, I think you kind of understand that you need the players. You need good players in order to win. And we say it all the time, like it's you guys. We're lucky to have the type of guys that we get, but at the end of the day, you could be the greatest coach in the world, and if you don't have guys that can make plays and do what our guys do, it really doesn't matter. So we're just we're honored, and we appreciate the guys that we get, and we just try and do the best with them.
I want to break this down. I want you to respond to this. The Villanova way. You give me your response to that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's being a part of something bigger than yourself. I think at the end of the day, it's just learning how to be a part of something, but still having your own individual goals. And we want everybody to reach those, and we just create a plan for each guy. From top to bottom. And each guy's role is different, but their status is the same. So we treat everybody the same, no matter who you are, whether you're the best player on the team and Colin Gillespie, or you're Kevin Voigt, who's our walk on. We take pride in each individual guy and what they bring. And the tradition, I think, is the most important thing. And in coach's mind, everybody who has came before us, and him, are a huge part of this. And no matter if it was a different era or a different coach, it's the tradition of Villanova basketball, and it's the Villanova community. So I just think that's pretty much it. And then obviously our thing that we live by every day is attitude. And that's just not in basketball, but that's in life. Just trying to teach these guys that you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can respond in a positive way, and you can try and push through and learn from it. And I really think that's what we try and do each and every day with our guys.
Now next year, Brian Antoine's coming back, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's my breakout guy. Next year, that's going to be the guy I'm pinpointing. And next year, you got a kid, Armstrong from St. Peter's. He is serious. You're going to probably change your style a little more fast breaking because Jay Wright can adapt like that. But your team next year, watch out for Armstrong. I just want to tell all my audience that.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Antoine has been through a lot of things here, and we're amazed by his attitude and his commitment. And a lot of people, which from the outside, just haven't seen the time that he's put in and the things that he's dealt with with injuries. And his development has been hindered by those injuries, and it's unfortunate. And he's a great kid, and he's going to continue to get better and continue to work. And he's had a great attitude. So I don't think you're far off by that. And as long as he sticks with it and he continues to get better and work, he had going into last year, he had a great off season. And then he dealt with some things and injuries, and kind of set him back again, and then kind of got healthy again. And now, towards the end of this year, started playing a lot more, and he's continuing to develop and get better. So, looking forward to really working with him this spring and summer, and getting him ready for next season.
I want to talk about the Patrick School tree. Let's talk about Shaheen Holloway. What a job he did.
Yeah, I'm extremely, just happy and proud for Shaheen. I mean, we go way back, obviously to St. Pat's, and he was a guy that mentored me and used to always come back to St. Pat's and play against us in the summertime when he was still really, really good. And, I enjoyed just sharing things with him, and then obviously his, the way he's climbed in this coaching world, it's incredible. And I'm extremely happy for him and his family. And he's a worker, and he's put himself in a great position. And, Obviously, I hope he does well at Seton Hall, but just not when he's playing Villanova.
I understand. That's a rivalry now. Now, I want to talk about your career. I had top 10 of my favorite players. There's DeJuan Wagner. There's a lot of my Elizabeth homies, but you're up there as one of my favorite basketball players. I love watching. One of the greatest performances in New Jersey high school history was a county tournament where you pretty much had one leg and you played against Elizabeth. Didn't win, but just went off.
Yeah.
And even Elizabeth fans talked about how good you played. We'll talk about that game.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. There's, it's hard to put me in those talks, man. There's been a ton of great players from New Jersey, and
oh no, this is my personal top 10.
Yeah,
my personal favorite players.
That.
You're on there, man. And there's guys that in the audience at different games, we'll talk about the old school, and they bring your name up.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I was brought up by great coaches, and I grew up in Linden, and I started playing at the Linden PAL and Bryce Street. And, I had a bunch of guys that just taught me the game, and then was fortunate enough to play for Pat McGlory at Seoul Middle School, whose father was Red McGlory at St. Pat's. He was the athletic director there. So obviously there was a connection. And then, playing for Kevin Boyle, that really changed my life, changed my career. And he took me to that next level. And I'm just really lucky to have played for such a great coach and a great guy that, was like a father figure to me.
Perfect lead in. What about Kevin Boyle and his legacy? Look at Kyrie, Dellenberg, Ben Simmons, Russell. Look at all the players. Look at the kid going to Duke. Look at all the star players from the Patrick School to Mount Verde. I talked to him. I said, we're going to do a whole show dedicated to him. But think about all the great players that he coached.
Yeah, I mean, and I think probably one of the best ones was Shaheen Holloway.
Oh yeah,
that was the guy that really initially broke through the national scene and really took Coach Boyle and St. Pat's and put him on a map. And he was doing it as a freshman. So there's a long list, and it's incredible the amount of players that he's put in the NBA, and just the lives that he's affected in such a positive way. He's a tremendous coach, but I think all of us that have played for him just know how great of a person he is as well, and how much he sacrificed for each one of us, as a coach. But yeah, it's tremendous, and he's one of the best to ever do it on any level. So just extremely proud to be a part of that tree.
Okay, finally, what is it going to take for you to get to next year, get to the Final Four? And we do this interview when you're in the Final Four, and I'm super excited. I'll be pulling for you guys. What would it take for you to get back there?
Yeah, sorry we missed it this year. We didn't get a chance to touch base.
That was my fault. I missed your text. I was furious, but I'm glad we did it now to talk about your whole career. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we were in it, man. This year was we were trying to get prepared and everything, and it's an awesome time. It really is an unbelievable experience, and we never go into a season talking about winning championships or winning a certain amount of games, and putting that type of pressure on our team. We just go in and try and get better every day, and that's really our mentality. And there's a lot of things that go into getting to a Final Four. I think most importantly is you got to be healthy, and that's one of the hardest things to really overcome. And it's unfair if you do put those expectations on your guys, because you just don't have control of certain things, And for instance, with Justin Moore going down, we felt like we were one of the best teams, and
absolutely
you lose you lose your best player, and you got to figure out a way, because no one feels sorry for you, and we did our best, and obviously we missed him a lot,
I felt like you were going to win the whole thing if he played, and we'd be doing this show after you won the championship. That's how I felt that highly of that young man.
Yeah, I mean, we felt like we were playing our best basketball, and things were really clicking, at the right time. And again, like, that's our goal. We want to be playing the best Villanova basketball by the end of the year, because we feel like that will always give us our best chance. And we got lucky in the Big East tournament. Our first game against St. John's, we had to battle back, and our guys showed a lot of perseverance, and again had a great attitude and didn't get down on themselves. And we're fortunate enough to win that. And then we went on a pretty good run in the tournament, We played against some great teams. So again, next year's team, I feel really good about who we have coming back. Obviously, the guys that we have coming in, are going to be very good players, and they're young. But who knows, man? We got a lot to work to do. We got to get back to, just getting these guys and their habits. And hopefully, if we can do that, maybe we give ourselves another chance.
Thanks a lot, man. Terrific job by you. Terrific job. Thanks a lot.
You got it, Ron.